Welcome back. We're in Module 3. We're talking about leadership and talent management. We've already talked a little bit about the attributes of effective leaders. In our last video, we talked about the 6 different roles, different hats that leaders wear at any given time. Now I'd like to shift our focus to a definition of leadership. What is leadership? And then I'm going to also share with you an important framework for leading. So pick up any leadership book and you would find a definition of leadership. There are thousands, I'm sure, of different definitions of leadership, some longer, shorter than others. My favorite definition of leadership comes from General Dwight D. Eisenhower. He said this following. He said, leadership is the art of getting people to want to do what must be done. I love that definition. It's short, it's simple. Leadership is the art of getting people to do what must be done. So let's break that definition down a little bit. One thing that we can take away is that maybe first is we've got to decide what needs to be done. What's urgent? What's important? What do we need our people to be focusing on? So one, we start off figuring out what must be done. Second, an important piece of this definition is then we have to get them not to do it, but to want to do it. We want our people to be self-motivated, that they should see the importance, the urgency, and say, hey, I got this. I'm on board with this. I want to do this. So it's not about leadership. It's not about exerting power. It's just identifying what needs to be done and then rallying our people to do it. This definition also suggests that leadership is not just a science. I think it's both an art and a science, but it's clearly not a science because there's more than one way of leading. Lots of different ways that we can lead. So leadership is both a science and an art. It's also important to remember not only this definition of leadership, but also to think, okay, so what is a leader then? And a simple definition I think of a leader is someone who has followers. You don't just become a leader because you get a title, CEO, CFO, operations manager. That doesn't make you a leader. You become a leader when you have followers. Don Schmieke is a Vistage speaker, and I invited him to speak to several of my Vistage groups over time, and he talks on leadership, has written a number of very good books about leadership, and one of those presentations, he shared what I thought was a really interesting framework for leadership, kind of a process for leadership. And it goes like this. He says that number one, think about what is it that we're after as leaders. Well, we're after results, whatever that might be. We're after more sales. We're after happier customers, higher employee engagement. We're looking to achieve results. At the end of the day, that's what we want as leaders. So then the question becomes, so how do we get better results? Well, the results that we get come from and are a product of the behavior of our employees, their actions, right? If our employees do the right thing at the right time, then we're going to get the results that we want. So it's their behavior that drives our results. Okay, that's simple enough. So then the question becomes, what drives their behavior, employees' behavior? What drives their actions, their activity? And Schmieke suggests that the answer to that question is it's their beliefs, their attitude, their mindset. What drives their actions, their behavior, which then drives results. If they have a positive attitude, a positive mindset, the right set of beliefs or values, we're going to get the right behavior, which is then going to drive the results that we want. So it's attitude, beliefs that drives behavior, which drives results. Okay, and that's where a lot of models for leadership I find stop. So then it's about, okay, we've got to get people with the right attitude, but how do you do that? Schmieke suggests there's a fourth component, very important component to this model, because the question is, so how do we drive the right attitude, the right mindset. And he says it's all about the story. Remember, we talked earlier about the importance of being a good storyteller. Well, Schmieke suggests it's the story that drives one's attitude, their beliefs, which then drives behavior, which then drives results. That's how we get the right attitude, is by telling the right story as leaders. If we tell a really good story, that's going to create a positive attitude, which is going to create positive behavior, positive results. A good story. A bad story will have the opposite effect. So again, highlights the importance for every leader to be a great storyteller. What story is being told within your business today? This model also suggests that if we want better results, we've got to examine the story. And if the story today is, hey, we just brought in a new account, big account, great margins, well, that's going to result in positive attitude, positive behavior, good results. If the story is we just lost a key client, maybe a key employee, negative story, negative mindset, negative behavior, negative results. You control the story. As a result, you have a direct or at least an indirect impact on the results from your employees. What's your story today?